Imagine you are an astronaut carrying out a repair mission outside the International Space Station. Everything around is quiet and beautiful. The deep blue Earth floats right beneath your feet. But then, a terrible disaster strikes. A tiny meteorite, flying at a speed of 28,000 kilometers per hour, cuts your safety tether and shatters the glass of your helmet. Boom! The air escapes in an instant. You drift into the pitch-black void, completely unprotected. Do you think you will instantly freeze into a block of ice? Or will you explode like a balloon? Or will the blood in your body boil furiously? The truth is much scarier than you think. Hollywood sci-fi movies have deceived you all along. Take a deep breath right now, because in this video, we will experience the terrifying sensation of the human body facing the vacuum of space. Don't take your eyes off the screen, because what happens at the 15th second will give you chills. The moment you are thrown out into space, what will be your first survival instinct? Surely, it would be to hold your breath tightly to keep the precious oxygen in your lungs, right? But sorry to say, if you do that, you have just signed your own death sentence immediately. This is the fastest fatal mistake. In the vacuum of space, the external pressure is zero. Meanwhile, the air in your lungs is at normal Earth pressure. According to the laws of physics, gas will expand extremely when the pressure drops. If you hold your breath, the air in your lungs will expand and tear apart the delicate lung tissues, just like an overinflated balloon bursting. Air bubbles will enter your bloodstream, travel straight to your brain, causing a stroke or air embolism, killing you before you even feel suffocated. Therefore, paradoxically, the only thing that helps you survive a little longer is shout loudly or exhale as much as possible to balance the pressure. Quite a brutal start, isn't it? After you have exhaled to avoid your lungs bursting, the next nightmare will strike just seconds later. This is the phenomenon known as boiling blood, or the embolism effect. It sounds like you are being cooked in a pot of boiling water, but in reality, it is much stranger. At the low pressure of a vacuum, the boiling point of liquids drops to an extremely low temperature. On Earth, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. But in space, water and the liquids in your body will start to boil at body temperature, which is 37 degrees Celsius. You will feel the saliva on your tongue, the tears in your eye sockets, and the layer of sweat on your skin start to bubble and evaporate violently. Your body will begin to swell. Your flesh will stretch like a giant water balloon, potentially doubling in size compared to normal. However, the good news is that our skin is very tough and elastic, so you won't explode into pieces like in the movies. You will just become a giant, swollen, and painful person. While the body is swelling, another silent killer is occurring in your bloodstream. Oxygen deficiency, also known as hypoxia. Normally, our lungs act as a transfer station, bringing oxygen from the air into the blood and expelling carbon dioxide out. But in a vacuum, there is no oxygen left to breathe in. Worse, the pressure difference will completely reverse this process. Instead of supplying oxygen to the blood, your lungs will start sucking oxygen out of the blood and expelling it into space. Your blood, which nourishes your brain, suddenly becomes empty. Within just 10 to 15 seconds, the oxygen reserves in the brain will be depleted. You will begin to lose vision. Your eyes will blur. Hearing will disappear, and then you will lose consciousness completely. 15 seconds. That is all the awake time you have to try to save yourself before falling into eternal sleep. Many movies show astronauts freezing into stone statues as soon as their helmets break. Is this true? The answer is not at all. Space is very cold, reaching down to minus 270 degrees Celsius, but a vacuum is an excellent insulator. Remember, your thermos works based on the vacuum principle to keep water hot longer. In space, there is no air to transfer heat, so your body temperature will drop very slowly through heat radiation. You will not freeze instantly. It takes a long time for your body to get cold. However, if you are drifting in a position directly opposite the sun without protective clothing, you will be in big trouble. Without an atmosphere and ozone layer to shield you, ultraviolet rays from the sun will burn your skin immediately. You will get severe sunburn in just a few seconds, your whole body glowing red and painfully burning before the cold can even reach you. What I just recounted is not just empty theory. In the history of aerospace, we have witnessed heart-stopping accidents related to vacuum. In 1965, at NASA's Johnson Space Center, an incident occurred in a vacuum test chamber. A technician named Jim LeBorman accidentally dislodged the air hose of the astronaut suit. The pressure in the chamber dropped to nearly zero immediately. He lost consciousness after about 14 seconds. Fortunately, his colleagues promptly repressurized the chamber and saved his life. When he regained consciousness, the last memory he had before fainting was the sensation of saliva on his tongue boiling fiercely. A more tragic case happened in 1971 with the Soviet Soyuz 11 spacecraft. A faulty vent valve caused the cabin to lose pressure on the way back to Earth. When the rescue team opened the spacecraft door, they found 3 astronauts sitting peacefully as if asleep, but in fact, they had died from brain hemorrhage and oxygen deprivation just after a few dozen seconds of exposure to the vacuum. So, is there any chance of survival? The answer is yes, but that narrow window only lasts about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If a miracle happens and you are pulled into a pressurized environment within the first 90 seconds, you still have a chance to recover. When the pressure is restored, your swollen skin will deflate back to normal. The blood will stop boiling. Your heart, if it hasn't stopped beating, will start pumping oxygen-rich blood back to the brain. You may experience temporary blindness, loss of taste for a few days, and certainly an unforgettable psychological trauma, but you will survive. However, if more than 2 minutes pass, the heart will stop beating, the brain will die from lack of oxygen, and at that point, no miracle can save you. If no one comes to rescue you, and you just drift away forever, what then? Your body will not decompose and rot like on Earth. The bacteria in your body also need oxygen and pressure to function, so they will either die or enter a dormant state. Depending on whether you are near a heat source or in a cold place, your body will undergo 2 processes. If near the sun, you will be dried out and become a shriveled mummy. If in a dark, cold place, you will be frozen forever. In both cases, you will become an immortal astronaut, drifting among the stars for millions of years, intact like a statue, waiting for some civilization to find you in the distant future. A sad ending, but also full of poetry, isn't it? Through the imaginary journey just now, we have realized how precious the Earth and its atmosphere are. Just a thin layer of air is enough to protect us from the painful and devastating death of the universe. The human body is truly miraculous with its resilient endurance, but in the face of astrophysical forces, we are still very small. The next time you look up at the starry night sky, don't just see its romantic beauty. Remember that it is a deadly environment where life is only a rare exception. And silently thank gravity for keeping you safely grounded on this Earth. How do you feel? Would you still want to book a ticket for a space trip after watching this video? Or would you rather stay home, wrapped in a blanket watching TV for safety? Please leave a comment below to let me know. If you find this video interesting and it helps you gain some survival knowledge, though hopefully you never have to use it, please give me a like. Share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to explore more crazy mysteries of the universe together. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you again.